Well, we'll start with the obvious. Ashley Jones will be at practice today, so she's back. So are we done? Oh, sorry. Yeah, I was just saying, it's probably all we needed, right? Obviously, what Baylor's done is incredible. The program and new coach, but Coach Collin, she's done a great job there. Actually, I'm old enough where I tried to recruit her twice, so I think probably they have the most talented starting five in the league. They're old, they're athletic. Melissa Smith's probably going to be the number one draft pick, so they had a couple tough losses early. That's going to happen in this league, and they played really well the last two games. So tremendous challenge, but certainly after the other night when we didn't play very well, you got to come back and get ready to go. Yesterday was a day off with a Sunday game, so hopefully we play the way we need to play to stay in the game.
Has their identity changed at all with Kim gone?
I think probably the biggest thing that's different is they're going to shoot the three a lot more. I think the last couple of years they were either last or dead last in three-point usage rate or whatever, and now they're shooting a lot. And I think Melissa Smith's probably playing in space a little bit more for whatever reason, whether it's they like her there or it's more of a get her ready for the pro kind of thing. But I think the biggest thing, if you look at their stats, it's they're still a really good physical half-court defensive team, but the use of the three is without question a lot different than in the past.
I know it's still early in the Big 12 season, but do you still have a sense of urgency of salvaging or at least being able to split a game during an important week?
Yeah, I think you always want to. I think that, the one thing I think in any conference situation, even though it's going to happen, your goal is always to eliminate losing streaks and maximize winning streaks, and even if that's two, because every game you play in this league, every weekend there's 5 games, and 5 people are going to win and 5 people are going to lose, and if you win, you gain on a lot of people in a year where there's going to be a lot of ups and downs. So absolutely, but that's the nature of conference basketball is trying to stop it when you can, and sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. But certainly, going on the road after a home loss, there's certainly not a greater sense of urgency, I don't think, but I think it, you kind of get, this team hadn't lost since December the 2nd, so it's it's something that, I think yesterday was good. Get a day off, get our legs back, and need a good day of practice today.
Is this year different in the sense that there's more wiggle room for air because of the parity in the Big 12?
No, I don't think there's any question. I think in years past it's kind of been you try and compete as best you can, and everyone's fighting for second place. Because Baylor was going to win the league. I mean, they just did. I mean, you could beat them on an occasion, but over 18 games, they were going to win the league. And then there was other games where, you kind of felt like, you had a chance to beat someone on the road. I think this year you can already tell the scores. Texas comes in here and beats us pretty good, and they've lost to Kansas and Texas Tech at home. Baylor lost 2 games so early. So, yeah, I just, whatever word it is, parity or everyone's a little more even than they've been in the past. So I think you can't get too far ahead of yourself, but at the same time, you can't ignore the opportunities when they're in front of you. And hopefully that's what we're going to do.
How different is it coaching against a Baylor team that lacks the astronomical size they usually have?
It's a little bit different. I mean, I think they still have good size, but yeah, they're not the Greiners and Kalani Browns and Lauren Coxes of the past, but they're still. I mean, like I said, Melissa Smith's probably going to be the number 1 pick in the draft, so that says how good, what a good player she is and how versatile she is. And but it is different. Like I said, they're very they're letting their guards score a little bit more. I mean, Kim's teams were always pound it, and the guards got to shoot it on rare occasions. Now they're all shooting it, and they're shooting the three, and they're point guards in her 6th year in college, and Asbury transferred from Oklahoma State. It's a great scorer. Andrews has had 7 threes in a game the other day, so I think that's a little bit different for all of us to try and figure out. And But, you know, that's the nature of when there's a coaching change. You're going to see some kind of difference, and certainly that's been a difference that we haven't seen in the past. So looking at games in the past doesn't really do you a whole lot of good. Just personnel-wise it does, but not as much style of play.
How big of a boost will it be to have Ash back this weekend?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think not just, obviously, the talent level, but, you know, I think when you go into games in this league, the thing that I told our staff is when we didn't have Ash and Aubrey, you didn't have production. You didn't have there's 55 minutes that we had to account for. And, you know, you saw the lineup we had out there, and I thought our kids played really, really hard. But, you know, there's a reason some of those kids aren't playing a lot of minutes, and they had to play minutes the other night. So it's not just 20 points and 10 rebounds from Ashley Jones. It's the versatility and the idea that, you know, 25% of your minutes are covered up for a little bit more. So, no, it'll be good, and it's hard. I mean, it's hard for any kid who loves to play like Ash does to miss a game. And it's been a really stressful week for a lot of people, and hopefully she can just relax and, you know, get back and play. Is one game, no big deal. It happens. So hopefully she's excited to come play, and she takes it out on Baylor.
How about Aubrey?
How much does her presence on the floor help your other players offensively just because of all the attention that she attracts?
Well, I think, John, that's a great question, because I think the growth of our post game, you can look at and say, well, they've worked really hard. Coach Styler and Coach Shaven done an amazing job with them, but they're not getting double teamed and triple teamed because everyone's got to guard Ash. And when Ash is on the floor, the court shrinks dramatically. And again, you saw that the other night against a phenomenal defensive team. So Ash makes it a lot easier for everyone just because she's the number one person on the scouting report, and whoever's number one on the scouting report gets a lot of attention. So I think that's a big thing. As far as Aubrey goes, Aubrey's not available yet. There's a chance tomorrow, whatever the protocols are. I don't know all the details. That's out of my pay grade. But Aubrey is not available today. I can tell you that for sure.
I know, kind of lost in the shuffle throughout the year was today. Are you at a point where you just may shut her down, or is there still hope that?
Well, I mean, there's still hope. I think it'd be a minor miracle for her to come back. You know, it's not fair to her. I think everyone was kind of waiting to see. There was a proposal that they were going to, kind of like football, they were going to let you play a few games and not lose a redshirt. That was voted down. You know, people were talking about the whole COVID thing and say, hey, let a kid play a few games just so we'd have enough bodies to go play. And that was not passed. So, so, you know, what is it? Seldom, if ever, say never. But I think we're as close to that decision as we can get. Now it's just we'll grind through it and get her healthy. But I think it'd be a huge surprise if you saw her this year, which is a huge disappointment because that's a kid that's got a chance to be really good. And I think the people who can remember as long ago when we played Drake and how well she played that night. And so it's been disappointing, but hey, it happens. Everyone, you play with the kids you have, and you feel bad for her. But she's got a great career ahead of her, so we have to be really smart. And our medical staff will do a great job.
You still trust her walking down a dark alley in Des Moines?
Absolutely, man. I'm still taking her with me in the dark alley. She might not be able to play basketball, but she'll be able to help me. She'll cover me. Yeah, that's for sure. That hasn't changed. But she, you know, if we have to run anywhere, that could be a problem. But if we get in a short one, we can handle it. Thank you.